Thank you to Chris Decker for your support on Patreon.
A few hours later, we finally arrive at the world-famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn with the towels are oh so fluffy. A few hours later, we finally arrive at the gates of Mazeo, I should say. There's nobody in sight, save for one lonely gate guard. He stands there, kicking his foot back and forth. Slow day.
Oh, great! It's Carmen!
Who?
Basically, the one gate guard I'm comfortable with. Leave this one to me. We'll be in Mazeo before you know it.
This is gonna go badly. He smirks and starts striding towards Carmen. Before he can get too far, Ola grabs him by the shoulder, holding him in place, protests by squirming and trying to break free.
Hey, let go! We don't have much time to waste.
There's another way.
Ulrich glances over at Valessa, Fortaime, and I. I'm not sure what he meant by another way. Was there something we could do here?
Oh, come on. I had a whole routine worked out, Ulrich. Mine will work for sure. With them, it's a risk.
I just want to see how they handle this. Diplomacy will be really important moving forward. Shouldn't we let them get some practice?
I have enough of their cryptic conversation and step forward. Asking them what they meant, I politely request an explanation. If there was something they needed to say, there was no point in hiding it.
The new Elder of Valinor.
Yeah.
He smiles and keeps his gaze on all three of us. I'm starting to get an idea of what they're talking about.
Fortin, come here.
Oh, shit. He looks a bit startled at the sudden demand, but slowly steps forward. I can sense his apprehension at being put on the spot. I know that feeling.
What's up?
This is your first time coming to Mazeo, right? The relationship between both of our nations is important. How we handle this situation could have a big impact.
Really? What do you mean?
Pro wants to lie his way in. That's what he does best. Not that it's a bad thing, of course, it usually works wonders. But at the end of the day, you are the Elder of Valinor. If you prefer, you can try talking to Carmen. See if you can reason with him and get our entry granted. Your role as the Elder can't stay hidden forever. What would the people think if someone like you was accomplice to deceit? Word has its way of traveling around. It could find its way back to you. Aside from the rebellion, you have to make an impact on Mazeo's people. The question is, what kind of impact should that be?
Whoa, this is way more complicated than I thought.
Yeah.
Everything will be complicated now, Fortin. Don't do anything lightly from this point forward.
Ulrich made a very good point, and we had better give it some thought. Everything we did now from now on will affect the relationship between our nations. We would no longer just focus on the rebellion, but Mazeo-Valinor relations. It seems that Milas' resignation left a lot more responsibility on our laps. I shrug and then turn towards Valessa and Fortaime, start to discuss the matter.
What should we do?
Well, I agree. I think we already said there's no point in hiding who we are. Let's give Fortaime a time. Let's give him a moment. Give him the opportunity to fuck up. Just give you enough rope to hang yourself with. Let's just go with it. Elder, it's your time to shine, baby. It's time for you to shine. I stop and think and come to the conclusion that I believe is the best. We shouldn't hide our identities, and we should stick to diplomacy. It's better than setting something up that's bound to backfire on us. I turn to Fortaime and give him a nod. I guess this would be his first political move as Elder. We just had to hope that Carmen was willing to play ball. He takes slow, nervous steps toward him until Carmen takes notice. When he does, Fortaime stops in his tracks, his ears perking straight up.
Entry permit, please.
Oh, shit.
Wait, what?
You want to get into Mazeo, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I need to see an entry permit. I can't just let anybody inside.
Oh yeah? Not even the Elder of Valinor?
Oh, wow, what the Not even the President of America?
Why, is that you?
Yeah!
Nice try. That's a pretty common excuse today. In fact, I've turned down 3 elders already.
Oh shit.
But I'm not lying!
And I'm sure they weren't either. But I can't let you through without a permit. The occupation made us crack down on visitors.
But please! Our business is urgent. If you just let us in, I'll get someone to confirm.
Nice try. You just leave me hanging. Everyone else does. Either present some papers or stop wasting my time.
Damn!
Seriously, come on!
I can tell that Fortaime is getting annoyed. I've never seen him like this. As if to offer assistance, Ulrich steps forward, clearing his throat. Perfect timing, too, as Fortaime was about to lose his temper.
I apologize on behalf of the Elder. This is his first time traveling. We're not up to any funny business, I assure you. It's an urgent meeting. The national security of Mazeo and Valenorth are both compromised.
Is that so?
Do you have a family, Carmen?
Oh!
Yeah, I do.
I promise that we are not lying. The Triumvirate is on the move to occupy Valenorth. But in order to do so, they'll have to pass through Mazeo. Your family could be in danger. The attack is imminent. All we ask is that you let us through so we can go about our business. Our matters in Mazeo concern the safety of almost every Alestian. If you don't let us through, a lot of innocent people will die. And trust me, we will make it known that you held us back. Do you really want to go down in history like that, Carmen?
That's some heavy shit right now.
Or would you rather go down in history as a hero? The man that allowed us to carry out our mission.
How do I know I can trust you?
You don't. I'm asking you to take a leap of faith. Is it really worth gambling with the lives of your family?
That is some heavy shit right here. Carmen gulps audibly and shuffles in place.
I think I remember you.
Yeah, I just left for Valenorth yesterday morning. I'm not an outsider. Mazeo is my home. Please, let me and my friends protect it.
And you promise not to tell anybody?
Oh shit.
I promise. But you should also abandon your post. No need to pass right through these gates. Your life is worth more than this job. Please, get to safety with your family. Do you really think I'm making this up?
Okay, the game's not saying it, so I will. I don't know.
If I just wanted entry, I wouldn't care about you. But this is more than that. I want to help you too. I'll tell Grizz right away so you don't get in trouble.
Alright, I trust you.
Damn. Carmen steps to the side and stops blocking the gate.
Just don't make me regret this.
You never will.
Ulrich steps back smiling as he turns to us. It seems Fortaime couldn't accomplish this task on his own, but his help was much appreciated, and as we couldn't have done this otherwise.
Wow, Ulrich. Thanks. I was totally drawing blanks. Maybe I'm not cut out for that stuff.
That's preposterous, Fortin. I didn't expect you to succeed. It was your first time. You handled yourself well, and you're gaining experience.
That is a very constructive feedback sample. He walks away and Pro approaches the group.
That was pretty amazing. I still think my idea was better, though. I had a whole script in my head and everything.
Uh-huh. Fortaime shrugs and turns to face the gate. At least his first act as Elder would be an open and honest one. We couldn't say the same thing if we were to align ourselves with Pro.
So, shall we?
He motions to the gate, which is now free for us to enter. After everything we've been through, we're finally here. It's time for us to get this started and meet Dominic. Oh good, we have dialogue. Let's fucking examine the
Pro?
dialogue.
What's up?
What's up, man? Ha!
That can't be your real name.
Why not?
I mean, it's a little odd.
And Valessa isn't?
You have a point.
But since you asked, it isn't my real name. The truth is, I don't actually know my real name.
How do you manage that?
I'd rather not talk about it, if it's all the same to you. Pro is just something the orphans called me when I was younger. I showed a knack for picking up skills with ease.
So you're a pro.
Something like that. Any idea why your parents chose Valessa?
No idea, actually. I never thought to question it, but yours kinda stuck out like a sore thumb.
I'll take that as a compliment. Hey, there's something else in my mind, actually.
Oh yeah? What's that?
What's up with the name Fortaime? Like, how is that one even possible?
Is this game just taking the piss out of itself right now?
I've always wondered that.
It's bugging me, and I've only known him for a day. It must bother you so much, you've known him forever.
Yeah, but you're good at getting info, right?
That's what I've been told.
Maybe we can work together to find this out. I want to know just what Fortaime really means.
Okay, let's do it. Pro and Valessa, on the case.
And let's see what Dominic is up to right before we meet him. Dominic advisor approached him with a sense of urgency. Having received a summons from Lilith, it was finally time. The future of Mazeo and the rebellion would be decided.
Dominic, may I speak with you?
Oh, yeah, Dominic. My name is Spice.
Oh, of course. Is everything okay?
I believe you've been waiting for this.
He hands Dominic a piece of paper, the piece of paper in his grip. Soon after, he returns to scribbling in his ledger.
Secure a naval army? That's a lot bigger than our initial plans.
Is it an unwelcome change?
Spice stands waiting, looks like pumpkin spice, ready to record Dominic's response.
No, not at all. We were just planning to steal the Triumvirate ships. While they were busy with Valinor, they'd be unmanned. But this... it could grow our forces exponentially. Especially if the pirates lend us their army.
Not for free, of course. They'll probably rob Grizz blind in exchange. I recommend not offering them any of our resources. We barely have enough food for our own men, and weapons for that matter. We need more of those. Do you think you could spin negotiations in our favor?
Of course I can. I'm nothing if not a good negotiator. It seems like everything is in our favor.
This final clause, however.
The one requesting the seer's presence. Pay it no mind, they should be arriving here shortly. In fact, I'll go meet them in the town square right away.
Is their Exodus training regiment finalized? Your schedule should be able to accommodate changes. Your plan is still slow exposure to develop a tolerance, yes?
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I could only handle it for a mere moment. But I feel stronger, like I could handle more. Oh, of course, I'm not going to touch it again. I'm just assuming the same rules apply to the seer. With controlled exposure, they could wield it longer and longer. Long enough to aid our final assault on Bolteus.
Alright. Well, that's a good shout.
Wow, there's so many people in there. And it sounds super noisy. Is it always like that?
Pretty much. But why are we standing here talking about it? You realize we can walk right in and see it, right?
Oh, right. Guess I was just waiting on the seer.
Oh, you gotta fucking... Oh, okay. Okay. Well, then let's not even wait any longer. Let's just go right the fuck inside then, shall we? Goddamn. As we take our first steps into Mazeo, we all pause and examine the surroundings. In a crowded mess, with people running in every conceivable direction. Market stalls are set up wherever there's room, with all sorts of wares.
Wait, I think I see them.
Fortaime immediately tries running ahead, enthralled by something he sees, but before he can get very far, Luke grabs him behind and stops him. With a tight grip on Fortaime's collar, it's clear he's not going anywhere.
Hey, what gives?
You can't just run off into a crowd like that, Fortaime. You'll get lost, and I don't have the time to find you. Stay close to us. We'll get over there eventually.
All right.
His ears droop down and starts to mope around. And he starts to mope around, but before he gets too sad, Ulrich reaches into his pockets, pulling out some coin. He gives it to Fortaime with a smile.
Here's some money to spend on whatever you want, but like I said, just make sure you stay close to us. This isn't the kind of place you want to be alone in.
Wow, thanks, Ulrich. I'm gonna look for some apples then. Can you point them out for me so I don't get lost?
Yeah, they should be over there.
Pointing to a nearby market stall, Fortaime runs off, jubilant. Free money from Ulrich? He must have been taking a liking to Fortaime. Either that, or he's figured somebody needed to keep him in line.
Well, I guess we should keep an eye out for Dominic. Knowing him, he's already here waiting for us. Do you see him anywhere, Pro?
There's too many people. Give me a few minutes. I'll find him.
A few moments later, Fortaime returns. He's holding an apple, his eyes glistening with happiness.
Look, I finally got what I wanted. It was so expensive, though. I only had enough for one. Guess I'll have to make it last as long as possible, huh?
Only one? You were conned, Fortune. I should have followed you after all.
Conned?
Yeah, taken advantage of. The locals know a tourist when they see one. They raise the prices because you don't know any better.
Mean.
Sorry, it's my fault. For a moment, I put too much faith in the people. At least now you know all of my warnings were true.
Ulrich lets out a large sigh and continues scouting the surroundings. He takes a few steps into different directions as if that helped his search, but Velissa calls out to us shortly after, pointing back towards the gate.
Is that him?
A man that was standing there starts to laugh and approaches us. He was standing with his back against the gate, out of sight. It was a perfect hiding spot since we'd be looking ahead.
I just wanted to see if you'd noticed me, actually. You've got a good eye on you. Velissa, right?
Yeah, Valinor Scribe. Pleased to meet you, Dominic.
Again, with the missing lines. Your friends have really talked you up.
And I'm Fortaime, the Elder. We've heard a lot about you, actually.
Yeah.
All nonsense, I'm sure.
After smiling at Velissa and Fortaime, he approaches me.
And you must be the seer. It feels like I've been waiting forever to meet you. Honestly, the last little while has been so hectic.
He blushes, and I can tell he's extremely nervous. It's odd, because he greeted Velissa and Fortaime with ease. It humbles me to see a man of such importance treat me this way.
I almost can't believe this is happening. It's an honor to meet you, seer. It truly is.
Jesus Christ. I didn't picture the general to be so handsome. Or the honor's all mine. So you're the one who forced me into all this, or nice to meet you. It's just nice to call someone handsome, right? It's just nice to do that.
What? Oh, cut it out. There's no need to say things like that. Trust me, you're already on my good side.
I reach out to shake his hand, but he immediately pulls back. With a nervous laugh, he rubs the back of his head. Did I do something wrong? He seems to be excited to meet me, so I assumed a handshake was in order.
Anyway, shall we get going? We have quite a busy day ahead of us.
He starts walking, expecting us to follow, but as soon as he gets to Pro, he stops in his tracks.
Oh, just one more thing before we move along. You'll be on cleaning duty for the next month, Pro.
Oh, shit!
What? What did I do?
It's more about what you didn't do, and the answer to that is everything. I ended up sending Ulrich to pick up your slack. We can't afford to waste time anymore. I'm sure you had your reasons, but...
Yeah, and they were really good reasons. I couldn't just march into Valinor with a blade. I need to have some discretion. It took time.
Really, Pro? You know you can't just throw excuses at me. I know how this stuff works. You were lazy.
Ooh, he let out a loud sigh, and while Pro shuffles in place ashamed.
I suppose it's my fault in the first place. I should have known better than to send you there. With a tavern in the way, your priorities would be clear.
After their spat, Dominic turns to face me with a smile. Even when he was scolding, it was polite. It's interesting. I can start to see why people would like to follow him.
Anyway, we have some business with the mayor. Let's head to his house. I'll explain there. After that, I'll give you a tour of our HQ.
Plans with Grizz. Is it about the pirates?
I said I'd explain when we get there, Ulrich. We can't talk about this kind of stuff out in the open. Finish up whatever business you have, and we'll get going.
With that said, I guess it was time to head to the mayor's house. I knew nothing about Mazeo, so I didn't know if this was a detour or not. But either way, my training with the Blade of Exodus would surely begin today. I look at Valessa and Fortaime, and we nod to one another. I guess I'd finish up any business here, then follow Damek. My legs are tired, but it feels like our trek was almost over. Dominic was now permanently joined the party. A new statistic morale has also been unlocked. Nice. Troop morale is at 90%. Woohoo! 90%. Morale may rise and fall over the course of the game. Your army and their welfare will be affected by your choices. Ensure a high morale and your forces may not survive the coming war. Aha! I see a heartfelt conversation. Fortaime heart-to-heart number 2. I notice Fortaime standing at one of the market stalls enthralled. I take a few steps forward to see what he's looking at, and nobody follows me. It seems they're willing to give us some time alone now that we're in Mazeo.
Hey, Seer! Check this out!
He points to a bunch of strange metal objects attached to ropes. If I could describe them as anything, I would call them metallic claws. I have no idea what they are, however, or why he's so taken by them.
You know, when I climb trees, it's hard to get a grip. But with these, I can just stab them into the tree and hold on. I didn't know these existed. It would make things so much easier.
He shovels in place, thinking to himself.
You don't think that would hurt the trees, do you?
Of course not. They can take more than that.
Awesome! That's what I thought. I'll have to make money somehow, and save up. This will make climbing the Grand Tree a lot easier.
He leans a bit closer to the market stall looking for a price.
And of course, there's no price on them. Probably so they can scam people too. I'll have to get Ulrich to figure this out.
He smiles and laughs softly before turning to face me.
You know, these markets are pretty cool. What do you think about them, Seer?
They're pretty awesome. A great place to have a first date, I think. Way too many people. I just wish my parents were here with us. Jesus, the fucking parents. That is one hell of a... Well, we always... Ah, God, we always choose the flirt, so we go with the flirt.
Oh, is that what this is? Well, I did want to have some private time, actually. Hey, I have an idea. Seer, follow me over here.
He grabs an apple out of his pocket and gives me a sly smirk. It's the one Ulrich bought for him. He must not have eaten it yet. As he runs away, I follow him, and we end up in a nearby back alley, because that's the safest place to be.
See? Much better. I can actually hear myself think now. Let's grab a seat and relax. We deserve it.
He motions to the ground. Doesn't seem comfortable, but it'll do. I sit down and rest my back against the wall. He promptly sits down beside me. Holding out the apple, he inspects it, almost as if he's hesitant to eat it.
I wonder if it'll taste like I remember. It's only been around 20 years after all. Hey, let's share it. You should try some too.
He giggles nervously and places his head on my shoulder.
You said this was a date, right? Imagine how mean it would be if I didn't share. Besides, I'd like to spend this moment with someone special.
After a brief pause, he lets out a sigh of relief. I guess he was worried that the physical contact might not be okay. Holding up the apple, he inspects it one final time, blushing.
Here goes nothing.
Moments after, he takes a large bite. Juices drip down his chin as he shakes with excitement. The look on his face tells me that it was every bit as good as he remembers.
Wow. You have got to try this, Seer.
He holds it up, offering it to me. I never got to try these when I was younger, but Fortaime always spoke the world of them. Accepting it with a smile, I grip it with my left hand. To make Fortaime even more comfortable, I wrap my right arm around him. He leans in closer, letting out a noise I can only describe as happy and content. With a large crunch, I bite into the apple. The sweetness immediately assaults me. It's an assault of sweetness. It's overwhelming, and my eyes shoot wide open. It's shocking and delicious. I always doubted that it would be as good as he said. I was unequivocally wrong.
See? I told you! It was totally worth the wait!
I nod and hand the apple back to him. We share it with each other, taking turns until it's all gone. After placing the core on the ground, he rests his head on me once more.
But so was this.
He gulps, as if he's nervous.
You know, I've never been on a date before. Honestly, this doesn't feel any different from normal. I guess that just means we're comfortable with each other. But do you think the other people will be comfortable with this? I don't think a seer has ever dated an elder before. I hope we're not doing anything wrong.
Of course we're not. They'll definitely be comfortable. It's fine.
Oh, okay. That's a relief. To be honest, I've always wanted to do this, but I was scared. I guess I'm thinking about things differently now. You know, there's so much going on lately. It's nice to just put it all on pause with someone like you. I feel like I could stay in this alley forever. It's peaceful. But I don't want to rush into anything, you know? So let's take this one step at a time. Slowly. Sharing this apple was good enough for me.
He releases his grip on my arm and stands up.
Back to business, I guess? But mark my words, I'm gonna get that climbing gear. And a second set, too. I'll make an apprentice out of you yet.
He smirks and runs back into the markets. I follow after him and we regroup with everybody else. It was a nice distraction, but it was time to get things back on track. No.
Hey.
What can you tell me about yourself?
Well, it all depends on what you'd like to know. I mean, I'm an open book, but I don't know where to start. Feel free to throw a few questions at me. I'll play along.
How old are you?
27. Not too young, not too old. I'm in the perfect place to be leading this army. A lot of the other victims were far younger than me. And those that weren't were far older. They took on more of a caregiver role. Plenty of orphans needed plenty of parents.
When did you join the rebellion?
I must have been 6 or 7 years old. A lot of the details are like a blur in my head. Maybe my mind did that on purpose, you know. But I was rescued by a small group of townspeople. After the battle died down, they started picking up the scraps. The rebellion wasn't formed just yet. That was just starting. Salus, the previous elder of Valinor, came to visit. The treaty and the rebellion were formed shortly after. I had no place to go. And no family. I was forced to fight. But that's not really a bad thing, you know. I'm pretty strong now. Trained for almost any scenario. I just wish I didn't have to miss out on a regular childhood.
Nice. Are you seeing anybody?
Oh, of course not. I don't have time for that. I mean, maybe when this war is over or something, but right now? I'm far too busy with everything else. And truth be told, I wouldn't even know where to start. The orphans of the occupation were taught war, not love. Other than fighting this battle, I'm not meant for much else.
Damn, what are your hobbies, dude?
I don't really have time for hobbies, to be honest. Unless the war table or sparring counts as hobbies. After this war, maybe I'll pick up a few pastimes. But right now, I really don't have the time. I've been training and working since I was a kid. They had no hesitation in letting a child wield a sword.
What can you tell me about the rebellion?
Well, almost everything, I'd assume. I was one of the founding members with Salus. I guess they like that term more than child soldier.
Tell me about your new HQ.
When the Triumvirate took over Mazeo, they had one goal. Dig deep underground and find the true spirit idol of this nation. They made the honor guard do this, those empty suits of armor. But while they dug, they also created a sort of barracks down there. I'm not sure why, because the honor guard couldn't make use of it. but I'm assuming it was for when real people came for inspections. Either way, they basically turned it into a paradise. Beds, weapons, training rooms, a war table, everything. When I first saw it, I knew I had to win it for the rebellion. Thankfully, Grizz had been turning to our side. It wasn't hard to woo over the mayor and get the deed. His only condition was that he got access to the idol first. I'm not sure what he wants to do with it, but he can't really do anything if I'm honest. Not without you or the Blade of Exodus.
Tell me about your previous leader.
Salus? Well, he was a father figure to a lot of us. That's probably why his sacrifice hit us all so hard. You do remember that he was the Elder of Valinor, right? It's not like he took on a secret double life, he was still the same. If anything, at least now you have an explanation for his trips. He was helping out the rebellion and Valinor. That's a tall order.
Tell me about how it was formed.
Salus saw the chaos and destruction in Mazeo and wanted to help. In fact, even some people from Valinor were here during the occupation. He likely discovered what happened by inquiring after their disappearance. Either way, he quickly met with a band of survivors and orphans. Offering them funding and protection, the seeds were planted. They became an organization with a goal. They had a purpose. Salus likely knew that Valinor would be occupied as well, so training an army to enact revenge would benefit both nations. They established Peregrino as a central location, and here we are. Over the next 20 years, the orphans grew stronger. As soon as we were battle ready, we launched the Exodus raid. Salus told me more about you, and I took over when he passed.
How many members are there? I like members.
Several hundred, but under 1,000. We're a fully realized army, and I know we can do this. With you and that blade, our victory is pretty much secured.
How is troop morale?
It's wonderful. Everybody is in a great mood. We have the numbers and the strength to put up a fight. But on top of that, we have you and the Blade of Exodus. When you're trained with it, you can lead the final battle. That blade isn't just a weapon, but a symbol of hope. It sets us apart from every previous insurrection. With its power, you'll be unstoppable. I hope you're ready to go down in history as a hero, the man who changed Alestia forever.
That's fucking lofty. What can you tell me about the Triumvirate?
We don't know too much about them, to be honest. They're shrouded in mystery and only rule from their chambers. We've tried to coax them out, but so far nothing has worked.
Do you know where they came from?
Not a clue. It's anyone's guess. Hopefully we'll find some answers after all this is over. There's got to be some record of their past, right? At least, that's what I'm hoping for. But I'll have to be content if we never find out. My main goal is liberating Alestia and gaining freedom.
Oh, God. Do you know how old they are?
At least as old as Alestia, or something like that. History seems to have begun when they did. Either that or they covered up the past. There's no record of history prior to their rule, so that's why everybody regards them as gods. But there's more to the story. I can feel it in my gut.
Do you know what they look like?
No, we just know that they wear white and gold cloaks. This is from reliable first-hand accounts, of course. Some people have met them and lived to tell. Underneath those cloaks, however, some people even theorize that there's nothing underneath. That's pretty scary if you ask me. They'd be like living spirits.
Did they make the Blade of Exodus?
I think so. As far as we know, they've had it forever. Ancient writings and murals have depicted the blade. We still don't know for sure, though. They could have found it. What we need to worry about is the power the blade houses. It gave them the power to enslave an entire world of innocent people. We must never resort to the same thing. I want to destroy it when this is over.
Will the Blade of Exodus be enough to kill them?
I'd like to think so, yeah. It's actually a bit ironic, isn't it? Their own weapon, used against them. As soon as you learn to use it, we'll be good to go. I have no doubt in my mind that it's strong enough. You were chosen by the spirits for this destiny.
Well, here's hoping they're fucking right. Tell me your thoughts on our comrades.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Valessa.
Well, I don't really know anything about her yet. But I'd like to change that if I get the opportunity. I think she seems like a wonderful person.
Fortaime.
He seems really, energetic. Honestly, you'll have to ask me again in the future. We just haven't had the chance to hang out just yet.
Ulrich.
Ulrich is one of my best friends. He really is. There's no man I'd rather have at my back in battle. He saved me from dying more times than I can count. The rebellion basically hinges on my planning and his strength. He'll be at the front of every charge, I can guarantee that much. There's no man in this world quite as strong as him.
Pro.
Right now, I'm a little upset with him, but I'll manage. He's my go-to man when something involves being sneaky. His reconnaissance work has been a great boon to our efforts. I suspect that you'll be working with him closely in the future. A lot of our final attack on Balteus will involve a stealthy infiltration, but we'll get to more of that in the future, so no need to waste time on it now.
Me.
Well, I wouldn't know where to start. You're such an important figure to both me and my army. But to Alestia, you're going to be known as their savior. I have to admit, you're a bit different than I expected. All this stuff had me thinking you'd be larger than life. But I guess that's my fault. You're just a normal person.
Nice.
The thing that makes you special is on the inside, not the outside. I guess it just benefits us that not everybody can see that, right? We wouldn't want you to be a walking target for the enemy to find.
God damn. Fuck you. I'd like to know more about our battle plan.
Sure. Anything specific?
Yeah, like what is it? It was the first step when we arrive at HQ.
Well, I'll have you rest for the day. Then we'll start training you with the Blade of Exodus tomorrow. I think that slow exposure therapy will be the best possible approach. As you build a tolerance for its power, you'll be able to wield it longer. Of course, you'll also be training in the basics of swordplay. Ulrich will make sure that you learn everything you need to. We have the benefit of foresight here. We know the Triumvirate will be busy with Valinor. You can train, and we can attack Balteus right under their noses.
Do you have a detailed strategy for the final battle?
Yeah, and it's something you'll be hearing more of. We have some stuff to take care of for now. You'll get used to the war table, trust me.
What will Alestia be like when the war is over?
Probably in chaos and disarray? We can't expect the people to embrace the new leadership, but we'll do our best to win them over and cater to their desires. Anything we can learn about the Triumvirate will also be useful. If we can prove that they're frauds, the people will accept us easier. The only question is, how in the world do we go about doing that? Either way, we'll have lots of work ahead of us. Winning this battle doesn't mean we can sit back and rest. We'll have an entire world to rule and reform. I can't wait.
Do you have any idea of how we can save Valinor?
You mean imbue it with spiritual energy? I'm not sure. But I wouldn't classify your nation as dead. Not just yet. The power inside of you is proof that we can redirect it. If the spirits can move power from the land to an individual, well, there's no reason to believe that the reverse isn't possible. That blade is capable of so much. I think it will be the key to all of that.
Cool. Well, that's enough of that dialogue tree. And there's no other site. There's
Wow,
stuff.
you can buy weapons here? I mean, they're just laying out in the open.
Yeah, you can buy anything in Mazeo. If it's not legal, then the pirates can get it for you. They call this place the Town of Infinite Connections.
Wow.
Hey, that one looks like your sword, Ulrich. Did you buy your sword from one of these places?
No, my sword is ancient. Rumor says it belonged to an Alarinthian legend. With just how well it's made, I think that's actually true.
Wow, a legend? Explains why you carry it around all the time.
Yeah, I'd hate to leave it unattended. Even when I carry it, people beg me to sell it. but it beats leaving it alone and risking theft.
So you've used that sword for your entire life?
I have, and I'll use it for the rest of my life too. It shows no signs of wearing down. It's perfect. I can't say the same about the ones they have for sale.
Ulrich motions at the market stall that initially got Valesa's attention. The merchant glances over at us, understanding Ulrich's accusatory gesture. We quickly run away from the stall before he can get to speak or chase after us. Well, there's a lot of talking about this shit.
How far back does this town square go?
To be honest, it almost doesn't stop. Mazeo is pretty much one huge market. There's a few residential areas, but they're tiny.
That's insane!
Yeah, but you get used to it.
Where do the people live then?
Most of them have small beds behind their market stalls. Those that are lucky enough to own an actual shop live inside of it. If you want to live in Mazeo, you need to sell something of value.
Or offer your services, like me with my sword arm.
Yeah, you need to do something to make money. If you live in a residential area, that means you're rich. It's a sign of wealth. Like, you don't need to work anymore.
I'm guessing not everybody gets that far.
No, most people live on a day-to-day basis. If they don't sell something that day, they don't eat.
That's crazy. In Valinor, we share everything. We'd never stand by while citizen starves.
Yeah, you have it pretty good in Valinor. But this is what I like to call the real world, Valessa. Valinor was special. The rest of the world is more like this.
Hopefully we can change that. Where do you think we'll be living after the war?
If we survive, anywhere we want.
Hey, this is where I got those apples. Still wish they didn't end up scamming me.
You can never trust anybody around here. Even I get taken advantage of sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, I can let my guard down too. So don't feel bad about your mistake, Fortin.
If anything, he learned an important lesson. Should we go complain? Maybe he can get his money back.
There's no point. They'd never give it back. We'd only end up bringing more attention to ourselves. I think we'll just have to chalk this one up as a loss.
Alright. I'm sorry.
You didn't do anything wrong. They did. I'll buy you more apples when I get a chance. The money I gave you could have easily bought 10.
10?
Thank y'all very much for watching this episode of Winds of Change. On the next one, we will continue to explore. Mazeo will probably have that meeting with Grizz. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I have been the trained unprofessional, speaking for the voices in my head when I say, fare thee well. Bye, everyone!